Hello, good afternoon and welcome to News Today on your Joy News channel on Multi TV. Coming up, more than 500 health professionals in the country pickets at the seat of government to demand jobs. We'll be live on the ground and bring you the very latest on the action by health professionals in the country. Also ahead, Ghana Water Company begins implementation of electronic billing system from June as it seeks to bring convenience to customers. We have details including business, sports, entertainment, as well as international updates all coming up in the next hour here on News Today. Stay with us. My name is Kwabena Chencheni. Many thanks for joining us here on News Today. To our very first story, and boat owners in the Yeji area where 15 people were killed after a boat capsized are accusing government of neglect. The Security Council issued directives following last week's accident that included strict use of life jackets before passengers are allowed on the boats. But Joy News has obtained footage that shows that some travelers are violating the directive. As a Security Council meeting gets underway to deal with the dangers, the boat owners say government agencies tasked with safety are failing to deliver on their mandates. Here's National Chairman of the Boat Owners Union, Yusuf Apetogbo.
Ourselves by ensuring our boats and passengers at the same time. But we met a lot of insurance companies who can even insure our life and property. But there is no insurance company who is ready to insure the boat and the passengers as I speak to you now. Sometimes when we met them, they always demanding on the fishing canoes and the fishermen, but not rather the commercial vessel. That is the only problem that we are facing. But we are ready to insure our boats and the passengers at the same time as life is concerned. You know, sometimes a lot of people deny to wear the life jacket while we have some of the life jackets on board. So when you ask them to wear life jacket, they say, I know swimming, so don't worry me about my life. So sometimes there is no fault from us. It came from the passengers themselves, because the last week, a week yesterday, when the accident occurred, the boat has about 150 life jackets on board, but they refuse to wear it. So who will you ask? When you force them, they even nearly to insult you, because I know swimming, so don't disturb me to wear a life jacket. So now working with a Navy, so it will be assist on Navy to let the passengers to wear before you board the boat. So we don't have problems not to wear the life jacket, because we know life jacket can save your life. We are not working lonely, because we work with Ghana Maritime Authority at the same time, the Navy. And every station that we have Navy commanders and Navy personnel provided. So at times there are some news which is fraud or which is not true about boat operators, while the Navy can also be an evidence with us. So sometimes they may see before the boat starts. So the moment we took off, then they remove the life jackets into the boat. That is the problem. So now we all find solution to solve that matter and save people's lives. Because of this not having this life jacket, under my leadership, we wrote our petition to the Ministry of Transport, to the Ghana Maritime Authority, to assist the passengers a life jacket, even if to sell will be by a moderate prices, so that we can also have payment of the passengers. But when you write your petition, nobody cares. But when incidents occur, then opinion leaders are rushing you, as you don't know what you are doing. So the thing will happen, or the accident will happen before you know the position that the people is holding. But when the incident doesn't occur and you are telling them, they don't even know whom you are. And they don't even recognize you that you are a person to talk to them, to listen your voice. So nobody to blame the boat owners because we are playing our part. But the officials, they are not listening our voice and do what we deserve to do for us. That is the only problem. Our first step concerning life jackets. We went now, Ghana, we have no company like Zoom Lion company. They are the only supplier of this life jacket. So when we went to their office, I went personally to their office. They told me that they can't work with the boat operators or with the fishermen until they work with a regional coordinator. Before we. And I've also told them the regional coordinators don't know what we are facing on the lake. So why not to give us the life jacket ourselves rather the regional coordinators? So I should go round to the regional coordinators if they agree with me before we can. I can't do that.
We can go live now to the area and speak to Daniel Techi, a reporter with Alive FM in Yeji. So Daniel, what's the update on steps to ensure safety on the River Volta?
Okay, good afternoon to listeners. And as I speak now, both owners association together with the district executive and the district security council, DNI, the Navy commander, the police commander, and the coordinating director of the district are in the crunch meeting as I speak now. Now, the issues that were emanating from the meeting, they are insisting that the boat owners have to make sure they insure their boat, because they made some comparison with the cars flying our various routes. According to the police commander, the various cars that fly the various routes have insurance, and those insurance cover the passengers who are on board or who bought these vehicles. Therefore, if they are also doing their own private business, they have to make sure they insure their various boats so that at least passengers on board can be safe. And if anything at all, anyone at all who is being affected can be assured of any insurance package. Now, he stressed that by saying that anyone at all that violates this particular law will be dealt with, and or anyone at all brought before the police commander, DSP Abraham Bansa, by violating these laws, that they have not insured their various boats, and also there are no life jackets for the passengers who are on board. It means they have to be prosecuted, and he will never listen to anyone at all who might intend pleading on their behalf. So they have to make sure they put on their life jacket. Now, the secretary to the boat union also made mention of they not being one, because he said, according to him, yesterday's incident like this, he called some of the boat owners who arrived before the particular incident that happened yesterday to help him go to the very thing where the incident happened, so that they can go and bring the goods and services. Some of them refused going, except one who has helped him with the boat to go and carry those people back to the town and also make sure their goods are also brought to the town. So they are all lamenting on the oneness that is not within them, and they are not together. Things that they are doing are not things that are helping the people on the lake. Therefore, there is the need they all come together and also make sure that anything at all that they do, they consider the safety of the passengers that they are dealing with.
Daniel Techi, many thanks for that update. And that was a local reporter with Alive FM in Yeji. Daniel Techi bringing us an update on that meeting between the Assembly and the Boat Owners Association there. Some more stories now. And the Ghana East Municipal Assembly has dismissed suggestions it has abandoned over 400 pupils in dilapidated 70-year-old IbakaPresby Basic School, whilst officials built for themselves plush offices. MC John Kwasaki says litigation on the land and delays in release of money by Get Fund have stalled the project to get decent structures for the pupils. The comment comes less than a week after Joy News highlighted the plight of the pupils in bats-infested classrooms. Mr. Saki has been speaking with Beatrice Edu, who first broke the story.
So we are just right here at IbakaPresby East Municipal Assembly just to find out what is being done to help these children who are in that dilapidated IbakaPresby Basic School. And I have here with me the Municipal Chief Executive, John Kwasaki. He's actually brought us to a new site that is not so far from the Municipal Assembly. And he says that some constructions have already started and there are a number of challenges. The reason they've not been able to get the project ongoing. So we'll just speak to him now. Hello, sir.
Hello.
Welcome to Joy News.
Thank you.
So now tell us, this school, IbakaPresby Basic School, has been there for 70 years without renovation. What has been the challenge?
Well, there have been some renovation. If you look at the original structures, there have been some improvement. But like you say, it's one of the oldest schools in our municipality. And for that matter, we need to relocate and give a befitting structure for the school.
I've been to the school and I didn't see any renovation. The only thing I saw was the staff common room plus additional room that seemed like they were newly built. Even that, they've not completely plastered and no paint.
Well, I don't think in 70 years ago, the structure was the same thing that you saw. And a lot of people have gone through that school. And when I say there have been some work on the structure, the original 70-year-old structure, you have to agree with me.
Be it as it may, the structure currently there where these children are studying in is very dilapidated and poor. Why has it taken so long to fix it?
Well, it does not take so long. We have various programs for all schools in our municipalities. Some have no structure of that nature at all. Some need to have new structures. And IbakaPresby is one of the schools that we decided to have a completely new structure from its original location. And that's where we are today.
So you've brought me to a site where I can see foundations and even some erection of blocks, concrete blocks to some extent. But this is not something anybody could live in. Is the project still ongoing?
You didn't see a foundation. What you saw is the superstructure. You know, from where we are standing here, you know, we are on the hilltop. The basement, which is also going to take 3 classrooms, as well as the teacher's library and staff common room, is part of the program. When we get to my office, you see the miniature drawing of the project. And the challenge we have was that initially there was a litigation on this land. Then followed, after we've resolved that initial challenge of litigation, we have the problem of Get Fund. The project are actually sponsored by Get Fund. You know, the 3 structures. This is 3-story, this another 3-story, this another 3-story, to be able to accommodate the ever-growing population of this area. So that is where we are. And for your information, Get Fund is repackaging all the structures in order to let the contractors come back to site. You go to Kwabenyan, they've started. You go to some places, they've started. And the consultants have been here, so when they get their new buildings ready, the contractors will come to site.
When did these projects start? Because it seems, I mean, the place is very bushy and it seems contractors have not been on site for a long time.
Yes, it has been more than 3 years since work stopped here.
Okay, so when did the project start?
The litigation, the issue of the litigation, and then the issue of Get Fund having those challenges.
Yeah, so I wanted to know specifically when did these projects start?
Started about 4 years ago.
And you just did this say within a year, and up till now, you've not been able to continue with work?
As I'm talking to you, the case, the litigated case actually just got resolved. But the Get Fund financial problem with their contractors is the major challenge now.
So you're saying that this project is being sponsored by Get Fund?
Yes, Get Fund.
And up till now, they have not released the money for you to continue. Why didn't they estimate how much it would cost before they started these projects?
This is not the only Get Fund project that have the challenge. You know, the Get Fund receive their money from central government, and they in turn give it out as for their projects. So when they have challenge, naturally it have a challenge on this thing.
Are you happy that for 3 years you started
I'm not very happy. That was why we took the problem through our regional minister, and he have actually gone far to talk to the Get Fund administrators, and they felt that really, because of the challenges and then the cost of input, they have to revalue the project.
Now, customers of the Ghana Water Company are to begin paying their bills electronically from this month. The Ghana Water Company says it will implement the electronic system on a pilot basis in the Tema metropolis and, when successful, replicates the system nationwide. Now, why such a move, and how exactly would this be rolled out? Stanley Marty is Director of Communications for the Ghana Water Company Limited.
Customers shouldn't be worried. They should rather be excited about it because it's a simple way and a very convenient way of billing and payment. So customers should rather be happy about it. But be it as it may, we've made it a bit flexible, or very, very flexible, so that customers will find it very convenient, and so that if there has to be any amendment or whatever it is, that can be done in no time. But the whole process is now going to be like this. That's more going to be of electronic billing, such that instead of the manual way that hitherto we were using, now our meter readers will come to the customer's premises with an Android device to key in the meter reading. Now the Android device is supposed to pick the GPS coordinate of the meter or the location of the meter, and which will give out the customer details, so that there's a linkage between the location of the meter, the customer, and then the GPS system. So when it comes up, the meter reader keys in the reading, and then he sends it into the cloud. Then the system calculates your bill and sends your bill to you by a text message or an email instantly. So your meter is read, keyed into an Android device, and it is sent. If it is sent, okay, then the system calculates your bill and sends it to you via a text message or email. Now, you will receive the email or the text message which will show you, or which will give you an indication of your consumption over the month, okay, and then your bill. Formerly, when it was done manually, when it is read, it takes a month for you to get your bill, because the meter reader will have to take the information to the office, inputted into the system before the calculations and printed. Before it is sent to you, it takes about a month or two. But now it is instant. So he gets there with the device, he reads and then and sends it, and then a text message of your bill and your details is sent to you instantly. Now, when you receive your bill via the text message and or email, you buy a payment scratch card from any vendor within your community, and then you go through the processes outlined at the back of the card to pay your bill. So you send a message also via per the instructions, and then you receive an instant text message which will tell you that you have paid such an amount, and you have such an arrears, or you have such a balance, depending on how much you pay. Okay, so this time it is very simple. But this new process is rather simple. Formerly, the bill you received is your consumption over consumption 2 months or a month before that time. As we move on, if there's a need for us to increase the denomination for the card, we will do so.
Okay.
But for now, we are lowering the risk so that we are maintaining at the highest denomination at 200, right, and then we move on. Okay. Now, there will be e-vouchers at our collection points as well, so that if you have to pay far in excess of 200 Ghana cedis, the e-vouchers will be there for you to use.
The Ashanti Regional Police Command has arrested some suspected criminals for committing various crimes in the region. Briefing is currently underway. Let's now go onto the phone lines and speak to Mohammed Nuruddin, who's at that very news conference. Nuruddin, good afternoon. Many thanks for joining us. So, what is the police saying about these arrests?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, indeed. Nuruddin.
Okay, can you hear me, please?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. The police have made some arrests, and what is really interesting is the fact that they've been able to identify some group of people who are supplying the armed robbers with weapons, and one of them is Tonka and P. All these people are on the run. The police have not been able to arrest them, but they have been able to identify them. That's very important to the police here. They've been able to arrest another woman who they claim is a financier of these armed robbers. I mean, he supplies them with so many things in their operation, and some other people are also here are in the police custody. I mean, in connection with various crimes in the region. So the Deputy Regional Police Commander has been telling journalists that it is their duty to make sure the region peace prevail in the region, and it is their duty to protect life in the region as well. So they are doing all that they could to make sure these cases of armed robbery attack in the region is reduced.
Right. That was Joy News' Mahmoud Mohammed Nuruddin with a report from the Ashanti Regional Capital, Kumasi. You're watching News Today on the Joy News channel on Multi TV. We're taking a break. We're back shortly with some more stories. Don't go away. Many thanks for staying with us here on News Today. To some more stories now. Unbonded allied health professionals comprising of medical laboratory officers, technical officers and other specialized nurses are today picketing at the Flagstaff House. The health professionals accuse government of refusing to place them even after completing their various programs of study for more than a year. Pascal Kipo Al-Hassan is one of such health persons.
Bonded, trained health professionals who are supposed to be absorbed by the government right after our training. But as we speak now, we've gone through all the necessary requirements that are supposed to ensure our postings to various health facilities across the country, but that is not being done. We are about 500 in number, and let me be quick to note that we are a special group of health professionals. Of course, it is only in Kintampo, in the Brunhafo region, that our crop of health professionals are trained. Initially, there were issues of getting a license before you practice, which is becoming the norm now. Yeah, so there was the inception of Allied Health Professions Council. And if I'm to explain this, you know, the nurses and midwives are under Nursing and Midwifery Council. So this new council has come for other nursing programs that are not clinical in nature. And that is, we are talking about allied health programs. And that is why I mentioned medical laboratory technologies, disease control. So basically, these programs are public health bias. Unlike the clinical nurses, that is more of clinical. So this council came in and required that we register with them to get a license before work. So that was the excuse initially. So it got to a time that we were to write an exams, and then those who pass were those who were supposed to be given these licenses.
And of course, been done?
We went through the process of writing the exams. It didn't even end there. We got to a point where we have to then pay to be licensed. That's after you have even passed the exams, you have to pay for the license. And that one we have done, we've been pushed extremely hard. We've more or less been pushed to the wall. So we are being compelled to do that because all avenues we've exhausted. And yet we aren't getting postings.
So you'll be picketing?
That's exactly
today.
Why, yes. Starting today, let me make this very clear. We are going to start today picketing until our postings are actually released.
But you know,
so it is going to take from today
throughout
the entire
satisfied?
week. Yes. So it's not going to be a one-day picketing.
So you're going to start today. It's already drizzling or raining outside.
Either rain or shine, and yes, we are going to be there.
Well, we've been trying to get in touch with our reporter Emmanuel Ante, who is currently on the ground monitoring the situation. We've been unsuccessful so far. Once we do that, we will bring back to you that story. But away from that now, and the Attorney General's Department has revealed it has inadequate state attorneys working with it, and that is hampering justice delivery. A number of state attorneys have left to pursue better paying jobs. Now, the few left are now overwhelmed with cases. Director of Public Prosecution Yvonne Atakra Obuobisa tells Joy News this is one of the reasons many cases are pending in the courts.
For Accra, we have just about 36 prosecuting attorneys, and it's worse in the regions, the regional offices. You have right now in the whole Bunahafu region, that's a big region, with so many courts. We have just 2 attorneys. You have 2 in the central region. We have just 2 in the upper west region. We have 3 in the northern region. We have 3 in the Volta region, and I think 6 in the eastern region. We have low numbers, and we are actually overwhelmed. There are so many cases that we have to advise on.
Why are you not getting more hands to help you?
Well, I think that it all has to do with a number of factors. We have, for some time now, we've had a high attrition rate. People come and leave because it is always better to work in private practice. People will come, gain the experience, and will go to better paying jobs.
And that's what is affecting?
That affects our numbers, yes. Yes, that affects the numbers that we have and the volume of work. We have so much work to do. And so that is why I say sometimes you could have a docket sent to us which could be with a particular attorney for about 3 weeks, for about a month, not because that attorney doesn't want to pay attention to the docket, but that attorney has, for instance, about 60 other dockets. You have motions you have to respond to, and motions are on an everyday level. So you have motions you have to attend to, you have petitions to respond to, and then you have trials, part heads, you have to be in court, and then you have advice that has come to you that you have to work on.
You're watching News Today here on your Joy News channel on Multi TV. Time now for updates in the world of business and sports after these messages.
And now time for some business updates. And Cocoa Board and SNIT are expected to take significant stake in ADB as the bank works to relaunch its initial public offering in the coming months. Bijoy Business gathers the bank's shareholders have already engaged the 2 institutions over raising the minimum amount for offering. ADB was last week directed by the Securities and Exchanges Commission to refund to investors about 438 million Ghana cedis raised from the public offering due to some challenges. But the general manager at SNIT in charge of investment, Noah Ado, maintains they are still considering to take up shares in ADB.
I must say that we are here to take a decision on ADB. I mean, we had planned to take part in the IPO some years back, but you know, every now and then the transaction was kept on hold. So this time around, we are here to go through the approval process to take a decision on ADB, which we will communicate to them.
And agribusiness expert Professor Amin Hassan has expressed worry most government agri-sector financing policies are targeted at large-scale producers to the detriment of small-scale farmers. According to him, even though small-scale farmers constitute a chunk of the country's farmer population, they hardly benefit from financing policies like the Export Development and Agricultural Fund, EDF. Professor Amin, who is the Dean of Agribusiness Faculty of the University of Development Studies, warns the agri sector contribution to GDP will continue to fall unless these changes has been speaking at the launch of the Ghana Agric and Rural Development Journalists Association in Kumasi.
The smallholder farmer needs a similar intervention, either to be covered by an expanded EDIF or to have an exclusive initiative dedicated to financing local food and agricultural production. I call on the Ghana Agricultural and Rural Development Journalists to take up this challenge to influence our agricultural investment policy so that when we start discussing MetaSIP post-2017, it will be on the agenda. A permanent investment facility to provide a window of lending designed to understand the rhymes and rhythms of domestic food production. Until we solve this financing puzzle that muzzles the smallholder farmer, our food production will continue to suffer. His or her capacity to return to the farm the next season is seriously jeopardized as labor inputs is poorly compensated. Again, within the agricultural value chain, I have already explained that the smallholder is the weakest link. So aggregators, and when we say aggregators, we refer to the middlemen. Haulage, warehousing, and retail all get disproportionately large compensation for their roles in at the expense of the smallholder farmer. A financing scheme that targets the smallholder is what we need now. Else, the fortunes of the sector in relation to GDP will continue to decline as we have seen in recent times.
Professor Al-Hassan Amin Adam also there, and that brings us to the end of Business Midday. My name is John Kojo. For more business stories, you can actually join me between 1 and 1:30 on the marketplace for more.
So indeed, that's it for the news, and like I rightly said earlier, for more news you can always log on to myjonline.com for a lot more content there. Up next is the marketplace with John Kujoma. Many thanks for your company.